Do you ever deal with issues of fear? For most of my life, anxiety has been a real battle for me. And sometimes that has to do with fear and sometimes it doesn't. But yesterday, fear was such a huge catalyst for the anxiety attack that nearly took me down. And it's not always rational. Fear, it comes out of nowhere. But today I was reading in Hebrews chapter 2, and it talks about why Jesus came. And one of those reasons, it says, is to release those through fear, right? All of those who through fear were all their lifetime being subject to bondage. And that struck me as so true. That fear, that anxiety, it is like chains that I cannot break free from at times. And the thing is, sometimes I know exactly what caused it, what led to that fear just creeping into my mind and causing me to spiral down and down and down. Other times I'm like, where in the world did that come from? Either way, if I don't get a hold of that thing very quickly and begin to battle for my mind, it will be a bondage to me that could leave me for days ineffective to do much of anything else. Not able to make decisions, not being confident in what needs to be done moving forward as I'm raising my kids, as I'm taking care of things in my home with my husband, as I'm managing things in an online ministry. Fear is a bondage that the enemy will use to just devastate our world, to get in our way, making us unable to do the thing God's called us to do. But he doesn't just tell us that he came to release us from that bondage. He continues in verse 18 of chapter 2 to tell us how. It says, "For in that he himself, Jesus Christ, has suffered being tempted, he is able to aid those who are tempted." He's saying that fear, we're not going to fight that on our own. We are going to, in a couple of chapters, it's going to tell us, come boldly before the throne of God and ask for his help. We're going to come and bring our burdens to him because he cares about us. We're going to stand on the authority of Scripture that says God didn't give us a spirit of fear, right? He tells us that in Timothy. Excuse me. He didn't give us a spirit of fear. He gave us a spirit of power, of love, and of a sound mind. Those are the truths we claim. So when fear comes in and begins that spiral, we have to actively participate in the fighting by bringing it to the Lord, by bringing it to his feet through prayer, right? That's one way. Come in and saying, Lord, this fear has come in, and you know what? I did give it some space. Forgive me. I can't get it out. I can't get those thoughts out of my head. I can't stop this spiraling. It's just going down and down, and I'm overwhelmed. Reminding him of his promises and reminding yourself of his promises. And if that does not kick the fear out, some other things that I use and used yesterday, I will begin to play praise music. It doesn't matter what kind of praise music, anything that you know and that you have met the Lord in. At the moment, it's a song, I'm not good with the names, it's like The Lion of Judah by Elevation Worship. And it just shakes things up, gets me out of my head, right? So I stop thinking about the thing I'm afraid of and begin to worship the Lord for who he is, right? He's the Lion of Judah. If that does not get it out, then you reach out to your other believing friends and say, hey, I'm spiraling. Pray for me. Pray with me. Send me some scripture. Send me a word. Help me in this battle. And you begin to just intercede. Sometimes it's me not praying for myself to begin with, but then switching it over to pray for other people who are struggling, get my head out of that space, right? Get out of my own worries, my own struggles, which sometimes just makes it worse, right? And begin to intercede for people I know who are also going through some things. There are ways, right? He says Jesus was tempted, the only one ever tempted who did not sin. And because he was tempted in every way in the way that we are tempted, he is there to help us in our temptation. let's make sure the next time that fear comes in and wants to keep you in bondage, we reach out to Jesus.